June has just come to a close, and with it we got to see the last of the new Sonic Frontiers content that was planned for the month. We wanted to make sure we'd seen it all before we made any judgments because, just like a lot of you out there, we were kind of confused, dazed, and possibly disorientated. I'm Mr. Turnabout.
And I'm Monotilla.
And I'll just say... Or is it we'll just say? First of all, I have to start with the elephant in the room. Regardless of which footage is being shown, there is a ton of minor technical issues and graphical quirks that make the game look more unfinished than Iizuka wants you to believe.
IGN's first series showed what appeared to be a visually buggy, albeit mechanically sound game. Nintendo Everything's footage showed a more complete experience, but the voiceover announced that it still played even better than it looked. Sega's own Sonic Central showed yet another complete boss fight, with nicer graphics and smoother animations.
There is way too much popping. Allegedly this is because of the engine they're using, as Sonic Forces had this issue too. It was really hard to notice in that game though because of how linear the levels were and the speed you were going at. It did a better job of hiding it, but in this game with large open areas, that doesn't look very good when I can see Dan from down the street just pop into existence. The animations look like... I can't stand how the tricks in the game look. They just look gross. Like Sonic is embarrassed of it as soon as he does one and tries to hide it from you. What have you got to be embarrassed about, Sonic? Go on, share with the class, don't be shy. And this kick cyclone thing, what is going on here? Sonic is just frozen in time, but he continues to move anyway, like he's being spun around by an invisible string or something. For a game like this to boast a brand new style for Sonic Frontiers, they sure didn't make a good first impression.
Putting it all together, I think that I have been more confused on my position on the game than my friend? Colleague? Enemy? Mr. Turnabout. But I think I am leaning towards optimistic. It ticks all the right boxes for what I want to see in a Sonic game. A return to a more realistic setting and the world having this air of mystery about it as seen in the Adventure era games. The bosses and enemies specifically do feel a little bit like what I would expect to see should there have been an Adventure 3. And, as I have shouted many times from the street corner, I feel that Sonic Adventure has been done dirty by setting up all this potentially amazing lore, all for its adaptations to simply snooze through. The combat going for a slower style is a slightly welcome change also. As much as I love going fast, Adventure 1 specifically did have its slower moments, which focused more on puzzle solving, platforming, or just straight up riding the snake, baby, woo!
The second thing I want to focus on is the open world design itself in relation to Sonic's gameplay. Now, from what I see, there are going to be enemies to fight and challenges that you can choose to go after for collectibles, via platforming or puzzles. Now, the footage Sega chose to use was terrible. It was clearly from an older build of the game compared to the demo, and it shows. The game looks a lot less impressive with a huge empty looking world, and Sonic struggling to get around at snail's speed, with a lot of automation like grind rails that just float in the air or speed boosters. And while some of these problems are still present, the demo footage made a lot of these look way more impressive, like whoever was playing played way more competently and fast paced than the initial showcase. Sonic is actually, fast. He's going from platform to platform with a lot of momentum. There's not nearly as much start and stop gameplay. The game just looks more impressive. I think the day and night cycle is just a good idea in general. The sunset looks really beautiful and makes me feel like this could easily be a game I feel relaxed while playing, which for an open world game is a good feeling to have, especially one with collectibles involved. The combat got a massive increase in quality in my opinion. It looks like how you play actually dictates the speed of the battle, and not every fight needs to be so slow and tedious like the test footage showed with the robot enemy that just showed Sonic constantly homing attacking into it, which looks like it could have gotten old real quick. In the new footage you have a dodge that looks like it gives you an edge over the enemy and lets you go to town on them. With a skill ceiling like this, there's potential for time spent in combat to be dictated by the player's competence in said combat, which is a great step in the right direction. There's also a counter move like this fucking rad Sonic anime counter technique. Look at him. It's satisfying. He just pulls one on this robot. Whatever the heck that was looks rad as hell.
Moving on to more middling territory is the music. I absolutely love softer and more relaxed music. One of my favourite albums of all time is Babel, which is a lot of woo. However, there's a time and a place for woo, and I'm not sure if Sonic is the place for it. Going 700 odd miles per hour while someone is banging out the tunes on the piano might not fit so well. But if they're going for a dynamic soundtrack that changes pace and instrumentation depending on the game situation, see the Spyro Reignited trilogy for a very good example of that.
Spit that fire one time!
Then I'm all for it. But I put this in the middling place because we just haven't heard anything outside of that one piano piece so far. Look, we all love switching to Timeless FM in the Forza Horizon games, but that's a meme, my dudes.
Finally, I want to talk about player feedback from playing the demo we've gotten. For the most part, it's been all really positive. Everyone is saying the game is more fun than the showcase made it seem, which if this is true makes me wonder what the hell was going on with Sega's mind at the time. Like, how cringe do you have to be to purposely make your game look terrible, only for the demo to look and play a lot better? Makes me think.
It just kind of feels like they have a lack of confidence in the game, or they're intentionally trying to stir a controversy to spark conversation, or they don't care, and I can't really tell which it is supposed to be. Journalists say the game is good, but their footage doesn't necessarily reflect that, except on the one occasion it did. I don't mean to villainize anyone, but someone needs to steer the game's marketing department in one straight line and focus on showing something consistent and showing something repeatable in the game's multiple zones. It just feels weird and I don't like it.
Now, there is a chance that everyone that's playing the game is biased, but if you recall, both Sonic Boom and Sonic Forces had people who tried the game and, at the time, said the games didn't play well or were fun, whereas Frontiers is receiving the exact opposite feedback. I have no idea what we are in store for with Sonic Frontiers, but the feedback has left me fairly optimistic. There's also leaked footage showing off linear levels, which, by the way, having linear levels is a good contrast to the open world itself. I do like the two styles they're going for in the game, but I have two concerns. Firstly, can we go back to the Unleashed boost stage level length? If there's one thing I despised about Sonic Forces, it was you could finish the levels faster than I could take a piss. Which, to be fair, I drank a lot of water, so I'm gonna be here a while, so can I get some privacy, please? Yeah, thank you. The next concern comes from reports that the linear levels are returns to all old levels, which hurts to hear because I can only play Green Hill Zone so many times. It was cool when it returned in Sonic Generations, but the next 4 games didn't need it, and this game definitely doesn't need it. If you're going for more realistic style for open world, why aren't you doing the same for the linear levels? Why not take inspiration from Sonic Unleashed? The level themes in that game are awesome. Maybe be inspired by more real world locations? No? Want to do Sky Sanctuary again? Alright then. In conclusion, I am cautiously optimistic for this one. Sure, maybe it won't be a masterpiece, but damn, I am really hoping for it to at least be good. I know a lot of people have reacted horribly to this footage, some people already saying it's going to be awful, and while I understand Sega have hurt us before, and maybe for a 5-year wait this could be more finished. At the end of the day, I just want a good adventure with Sonic again. I miss the guy, and he hasn't had the easiest time recently, so please Sega, nail the landing on this one.
But overall, I think that the game has potential to be great, but I won't really know until they're Sonic playable. And that's a weird position to be in. Oh well!
Also, if we buy this one, they said they'll make Adventure 3 for real this time, guys. Guys, I promise, buy it so that we can get Adventure 3, thank you.